Afternoon, VC. All right, I'm packing up and moving south, and I don't mean Florida. At this point, I'm going to Panama. I'm going to get me a nice little place along the canal so I can watch the ships go by. I've got to pack up all these fucking records and get them down there. Yeah, it's gonna be like 17 degrees here in Charlotte tomorrow morning. I'm not having that. So yeah, Panama. In any case, that's not what you're here for. I got a bunch of records to show. Been checking out a few of the Jazz Bumps streams for shits and giggles, and yeah, I got into a lot of discussion of classical last night, which actually is really cool because they had Poetry on Plastic on there. That dude knows the ins and outs. So that was really cool. But it kind of got the wheels turning. I watched the interview with Dylan. I live right down basically off near to Noble Records, enough to where I can get up there whenever I want. So what I thought I'd do is show. I've bought a lot of records from Dylan, all different genres. But I thought I'd show just some of the jazz pieces that I've pulled out of Noble Records in store to kind of give you an idea of what you might find there jazz-wise. So this is kind of to follow up on the Jazz Bums stream with Dylan talking about his shop. We'll go ahead and show you some stuff that actually has come out of there. So the first is Ahmed Abdul Malik's Middle Eastern Music with Johnny Griffin, Jazz Sahara, original stereo copy. Beautiful music, on the oud, Johnny Griffin on the horn, on the tenor, and Ahmed also plays a mean bass. El Harwood drums, you might recognize as well on this. It's a fantastic record on Riverside. There's another one of his records, I think East Meets West or something like that. I need to find that. But this is a scarce record and something he had in the shop and just in a regular drop. This is one I went up there to grab. And it's the only time a lot of these are the only time I've ever seen these records. Gary Bart's Juju Man on Catalyst. He plays a bunch of instruments on this: alto, soprano, clarinet, synth. There is some vocal here. My Funny Valentine cover on this. This is not my favorite Gary Bart's record, but it's a solid record. It's a little bit. I would say this one's a little overpriced, but it was a decent price with Dylan, so I grabbed that one Saturday drop up there. I found this. I think was one of the last pieces I was missing for the JCOA collection, which I've now completed. Escalator Over the Hill from Carla Bley and Paul Haynes. There's a myriad of amazing musicians on this. This is the gold cover version of that on the JCOA label. And he had 2 copies of that in the bins, cheap. Hell, the other copy might still be up there for all I know. It was there for a couple years. This is a label you don't see very often in bins, the America label from France, the fabulous Paul Bley Quintet with Don Cherry, Ornette Coleman, to name a few, with him here. Was very, very happy to find that one day in the bins in Noble. Here's one that was like in the $5 bins. Jack Bruce, Things We Like, a promo copy on Atco. Some killer players on this, because you usually don't think jazz with Jack Bruce, but this is killer. It's got John McLaughlin on guitar, John Heisman on drums, who's a killer drummer. That's a cool promo for cheap. Back before prices got bonkers, I think the first year he was open, I got this for $50. Alice Coltrane, Ta the El Duide original with hype sticker, and not in too bad a shape for that price. I couldn't get up there fast enough. I was first in line that morning on that Saturday. for that. Here's one this one I think I got off the wall. Alice Coltrane Transcendence, original promo. Really beautiful playing on that from Alice on the harp and other instruments. Yeah, Satori Quartet. There's violins. This is a lot of violins on this. This is gorgeous music. And a lot of times he shows these records online, so my ass has to be on top of things. So I tend to be first in line or second. I'm usually first when it's just jazz stuff, but when he drops metal or punk, there's guys out there at 3 a.m. Waiting, on his big drops, waiting to get in. This was a good John Coltrane. The only time I've ever seen it in a shop. Afro Blue Impressions on Pablo. So a double. This is really, really good. This one's kind of gone up a little bit in price. It used to be super cheap. Got this there, Kenny Drew Undercurrent, just sitting in the bins. Not an original. It's one of the first audiophile reissues, though, an early audiophile reissue. I think this was even before Music Matters, maybe. The bums can correct me on that. I don't pay attention to pressings too much. I just kind of get what I find when it comes to jazz. It doesn't really bother me what press I'm getting. I want the music. This is a fantastic session with Freddie Hubbard trumpet, Hank Mobley tenor, of course Kenny on piano, Sam Jones bass, Louis Hayes on the drums, Undercurrent. One of my favorites from Kenny Drew. Here's one off the wall. I think I got this the same day as that first record I showed. Booker Ervin, The Freedom Book on Prestige. Only time I've seen this in a shop. This is a fantastic, fantastic record. Jackie Byard on piano, underrated. Richard Davis bass, Alan Dawson drums. Yeah, this one's a killer. There's a promo stamped copy too. Maybe like a radio promo. This was just in the bins, cheap. Curtis Fuller Smokin' on the Mainstream label. These are getting more difficult to find. It's cheap though, when you find these still. Cedar Walton, Billy Higgins. One of my favorite trombone players. Of course, as everybody knows, I played trombone. I played in band for 7 years. I probably played for 9 total. Slide trombone, mostly, but played in an all-state New York band in the 80s. I moved my way up from, I think, 3rd chair to 1st chair. So I have a few favorites when it comes to the trombone. Not everybody's favorite instrument, but this is probably one of the best jazz records I've ever pulled from Noble off the wall, and it was a hell of a price. I'm pretty sure I paid under 100, probably 80. Dexter Gordon, Dexter Calling, and this is an OG mono, first press, with all the bells and whistles. And this is probably a top 3 Dexter Gordon session for me. I really like his Vanguard, Return, that album. I think that's on Columbia, and then there's another record, one of his European releases I like better than this, but this is still this is probably my favorite Blue Note that Dexter Gordon put out. This is a powerful record. Philly Joe Jones drums, Paul Chambers bass, that has something to do with it. Hell of a rhythm section. Yeah, Blue Note 4083, first mono. I don't have many first monos. Back when Dylan was doing pop-ups before the shop opened, the first pop-up I went to was at a brewery here in Charlotte. He did really well because that was a newer brewery at the time, and so the brewery had a lot of traction, gaining interest from people in the NODA area here in Charlotte. And I pulled this from he had a lot of dollar boxes when he started doing those pop-ups. This is one I pulled out of the dollar bins. Coleman Hawkins with the Red Garland Trio, Prestige Swingville, an original copy. That now the cover is shot, but the record is VG, and I couldn't have been happier with finding this in the dollar bin. And I've never seen it since in a shop. So the great Coleman Hawkins on tenor, Doug Watkins bass. Yeah, that's some good early stuff. I was surprised to see this one in the cheap bins. One day, Michael Gregory Jackson Clarity with Oliver Lake, Leo Smith, and David Murray. A really nice copy of this. Fantastic condition. I mean, this is minty. That's a really good record. Hard to find. M-Boom Collage, probably my favorite M-Boom, with all the crazy drummers. Joe Chambers, Roy Brooks, Freddie Waits, you know. This is just Max Roach. I mean, what an idea this was. I mean, check out some of the YouTube footage of M-Boom. It'd blow your mind. This was my most recent jazz pickup from Noble, Jackie McLean, About Soul. I think it's a Black Bee. Moncours on this, on trombone. He can make the trombone sound like a trumpet at times, which is incredible. I was never able to do that, but I wasn't really an improviser on the trombone. I was, kind of, prepare from sheet music and practice, and you were given a little bit of freedom. The conductor would call you out though if you got out of line. But yeah, Jackie McLean, About Soul, really good one. This is another cool one this one sat in the shop forever, because most of his stuff that leans more free jazz or whatever, there's only like me and one other guy, he said, that ever buys it from him. But because where he's located is not, he's up closer to Monroe in Matthews. It's not, people there are looking for blues records, classic rock records. They're not looking for free jazz records. This is Cecil McBee music from The Source. This is an Inner City copy in fantastic shape. Some really cool players on here. Steve McCall, Don Moye, Chico Freeman. Love this cover too. Another one of those early Blue Note reissues, some other stuff from Gretchen Moncour. Yeah, I don't know if this has been this might be one of the only reissues of this. This is a difficult record to get, especially originals. I actually have a cassette of this, but Wayne Shorter, oh yeah, that's some good stuff. This is a record that I think when Dylan got an original, he put his reissue in the shop, Placebo. This is the music on vinyl. This is some great Belgian stuff. Or is it French? I can't remember, but it's Philip Catherine on guitar, who's a favorite. Mark Moulin, keys. Yeah, this is a hell of a band. So I was happy to get that reissue there at Noble. Another wall item, the Piano Choir Handscapes on Strata East. Stanley Cowell, Harold Mabrins, Amelia Smith involved in this group. I had this misfiled. So I'm glad I did this video, because now I'm going to be able to file this correctly. Not easy to find Strata East records anymore, especially in good shape. This one's not in the best of shape, so it was a good price, but there's everybody knows Strata East. I don't have many original Strata East. I have a few. Nothing I focus on. I focus on ESP disc for the most part. I'm pretty close to having what I need on that label. A few major pieces still have eluded me when it comes to ESP disc. But yeah, Strata East, Score, Noble. This one I got on his massive pump drop. Why this was involved in that, I don't know. But Gil Scott Heron, Pieces of a Man, got that off the wall. Original on Flying Dutchman. This one fetches massive money now, which I really don't understand it. I mean, it's just Flying Dutchman, but I don't think this is that rare a record. I mean, it pops up enough, but it's a great one. The collection that Dylan bought in Florida at the time was the most he had paid for a collection. Some of that got into the shop. This one was one that was on the wall for a while, and he knew he told me he knew I'd be the one to buy it. But it's oh god, who is this? Alan Sondheim. Yeah, Alan Sondheim, and this is to Other Little Tune. This is a weird fucking record. It requires some deep listening. There's a lot of different instruments on this. A lot of Moog, Hawaiian guitar, marimbas, melodeon, some tabla. I mean, it's all over the place. It's really, really free and improvised stuff. It's such a great cover. And I collect the label, so anything on this label I don't have it. It's got to go in. Gotten some Sun Ra records from him. There was a big drop with a lot of Sun Ra. I just grabbed one to show. Space is the Place. This is a UK copy, so I don't think an original, but it was a good deal. But one of the earlier versions, I think. And this one was a wall item. I think this is the last record I have to show. Yeah, Mel Waldron Trio, Free at Last on ECM. So the first ECM record. I think, yeah, ECM 1001. This is Mel Waldron like you haven't heard him before. If you've only been into the bop, the hard bop stuff or whatever, it's Free at Last because this is some free jazz. 1969. Piano, bass, drums on that one. So yeah, I just wanted to kind of highlight, you know, if you get a chance to go into Noble Records, those are kind of the types of jazz records you're going to be able to pull out of there. Hope everybody's well. Peace.